Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. I just wanted to do an update on the case of Madeline Kingsbury because she's still unfortunately missing up to the time of putting out this video or making this video, which is the 18th of April at 10 o'clock in the morning Spanish time. She still has not been found. So let me just give you now there's something I'm going to do that I don't normally ask you to do. I'd like you to share this video as far as you can. It doesn't matter what country you're in, because you don't know where it might, although this is a case in America, you don't know if you share it who might see it, and it might they might know somebody who's in that area who may have seen the van, because the crucial thing at well, let me go through the story, but please share this video as far as you can with anyone, even if you don't think it might, you know, reach as far as Minnesota, but it may do, you don't know, and it may just be the thing that happens, that because if you don't know about the Gabby Petito case, which there is a video on my channel, I'll put the link in description. Poor Gabby had been murdered by a boyfriend and everybody was looking for her. They probably would never have found Gabby's body if it wasn't for social media, you know, people who were actually travelling through the absolutely massive natural park where Gabby's boyfriend Brian had buried her body. Would she have ever been found if the van hadn't been caught on camera? The van was parked up at the side of the road and it was caught by, you know, fellow sort of TikTokers or Instagrammers who noticed the van because the number plates were the same as from where they came from. And when the police appeal went out for anybody who had any footage, you know, CCTV footage, doorbell footage, GoPro from your car, there's so many different things now. They looked back through their footage and saw that it was in fact Gabby's van that was parked by the side of the road, and this then gave the police a place to concentrate their search on. Because the problem is, you know, again, would she have ever been found? I mean, you know, that van had travelled massive distances through lots of natural parks, etc. You know, at the end of the day, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Now, of course, we don't know. We have to presume that Maddi is alive until we know what. Otherwise, she may be being held somewhere, you know, but what the police need to know is where to centre their searches. So they are searching, apparently, there's divers out. They have had some footage from the van. Let me explain what's happened, just in case you don't know. So, Maddi, or Madeline Kingsbury, is 26 years old, and she has been missing since the 31st of April. She disappeared, literally. You know, 1 minute she was there and the next minute she wasn't. And she's not a girl who does disappear. You know, she's not a person who does go off on, you know, drink binges or drug binges, or just take herself off every now and again to clear her head. No, she doesn't do that. And she has 2 children, and she's devoted to her children. She has a responsible job, you know, and she's studying for a master's degree. You know, she's a girl whose her life her life plan is all coming together. Her mum described her, I thought it was lovely what her mum said about her, as a hard at work mum. You know, a hard at work mum, and it's hard. Juggling your career with being a mum and studying at the same time and doing everything, it's difficult. And because she was going through problems in her personal life, so her and her partner oh gosh, I've lost his name. I think it was Adam. Because I've not been really concentrating on him. Adam Fravel, her partner. Now they were still living together. He's the father of her 2 children. They were still living, well, they are still living together, apparently, while things are sorted out. But apparently Madeline was looking for somewhere else to live in the local area because she didn't want to take the children too far away from Adam. She wanted him to have a she wants him to have a relationship with the children. So she was looking around, but locally, whereas her sister, so the spokesperson from the family, if you like, is her sister Megan. So she's been on a lot of social media talking about the case, obviously trying to raise awareness, getting people, you know, trying to get people to sort of look through all their, like the police are, look through all your, any camera footage you've got of any kind that might be in that area. So yeah, so it's Megan who's been the spokesperson. It's more natural, isn't it, for it to be a sister. Maddi has a sister and also a brother. And she has been classed as an endangered missing person. The police have been very open that they consider this is a suspicious disappearance. It's out of character. You know, not because she's vulnerable in the sense that the police in Lancashire were saying Nicola was vulnerable, but because this is just not, you know, they're not happy with the circumstances of it. So, apparently on that morning, Adam and Madeline took their children to the nursery together. This apparently was not unheard of, that they would take the children together to the nursery, and they would have gone in the van. So Madeline has a van and Adam has a car. So bear in mind that Adam has his own transport. But apparently, according to Megan, Maddi's sister, it probably was more common that if it was anything to do with the children, they would take the van. So they went and dropped the children off, and Adam says that at 10 o'clock, he took Maddi's van to go and do some errands. Why he didn't take his own car? That is one of the questions, obviously, about this. Why not take your own car? Why take the van? And then when he got back later on that day, Maddi had simply disappeared. She wasn't there. She wasn't at home. She'd disappeared. Now, something I want to say here now, and I know we don't know the final outcome yet, but when you're separating, when a woman, or a man, I suppose, is separating from their partner, when it's not mutual, this is the most dangerous time. If anything has been, if there's been any violence in that relationship, or there's any acrimony, etc., the most dangerous time for the person who's wanting to finish a relationship is when they're actually doing that. Especially if there are children involved, custody battles, child support payments, all these things contribute to make it a very jealousy if they've got another partner. You know, quite often people, especially women, they leave not because they've got somebody else, but just because they want their independence, they want their freedom. And sometimes it's quite difficult for the partner to appreciate that this is true. There isn't anyone. This happened to me. In that, you know, there doesn't have to be anybody else involved. Sometimes you just want a break from a relationship, especially if they're a very jealous, possessive person. You just want to step back from it for a while. Now, luckily for me, there were no children involved in my, if you like, experience of this. So, and I did survive. I don't want to go into that now anyway, because this is about Madeline. So, her sister Megan is the spokesperson. She's been on a lot of news channels. There's a Facebook page been set. I'm going to put all the links to these things in the description box where you can find out more information, etc. And Madeline was born in Farmington, Minnesota, and she went to Farmington, graduated from Farmington High School. She was a cheerleader. Yep, there's 3 of them in the family. There's Megan, Madeline, or 3 children in the family. Megan, Madeline, and their older brother Stephen. She went to college in Winona State. She's always been very good with it, you know, done well in her education. And she was working for the I'm trying to say it in Spanish, clinic as a researcher. And she would work from home. She works from home most of the time, but she perhaps goes to Rochester, which is about an hour away, to the clinic a couple of times a week. So, although she's living with Adam still, they are no longer a couple. Megan confirmed this. They are no longer a couple. And as I said, Madeline is looking for alternative accommodation. But although Megan wanted her to move further away and come to live nearer to her, she said no. She wants to stay near to the schools that the children are already at, and to be near to Adam, to be fair to him, so they could share custody. So yeah, she would work on Microsoft Teams a lot. Very similar, this case, isn't it, to Nicholas? And as Megan, her sister, works at home as well, they would communicate many times during a day, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. They would communicate with each other online, you know, by message or whatever, because they were both in the same position. So she has 2 children, Eliana, who is 5, and Noah, who is 2. Now, when this all first happened and the police, you know, were involved and went to the house, Adam initially took one of the children into the house and locked the door. Now, when I read that, I got a real chill go down my spine, because it reminded me of the story of Susan Powell and the Powell family, and how that ended up. You know, I will be doing a video. That's another one for the list. I mean, you know, that story is a very tragic story, and this had echoes of it when they said that he'd taken the child in the house, locked the door, and was shouting expletives through the door. Well, luckily now they have taken the children away from Adam, and the children are safe. So nobody's saying where they are, obviously, because they have to be kept safe, and it has to be private where they are, but they're safe and they're doing okay, according to Megan and her and the family. They have seen them, so there is contact there. Yeah, now her normal routine apparently would be, you know, get up quite early, take Eliana to preschool some days, and then both of them to daycare, come home, work, maybe in the afternoon run a few errands, then basically pick up the kids. They might go to the park depending on the weather and the time of year, but basically her days revolved around the children. When she wasn't working, as soon as she finished work, they would revolve around the children. Now, the police are saying that her disappearance, for these reasons, because there is no reason to think that Madeline would have taken herself off everywhere. She left everything at home anyway, her mobile, her jacket, etc. Everything is at home. So, and he's got the van, or he was using the van, so where would she have gone? And what would she have gone in, and what, you know, there's been no sign, you know, no digital sign, so, you know, she didn't take her credit cards with her, etc., so, or her mobile. So her absence is being treated as involuntary and suspicious. Okay, so apparently she was doing a master's degree. She was looking at new jobs and promotions within her company, and so Megan said that the chance of her running off or, you know, voluntarily leaving is a negative chance. You know, she was asked by a reporter, are you saying there's no chance, or we don't? She said it's a negative chance. Okay, so apparently at 8:15, the last message from her sister she had didn't worry her at first when she didn't hear from her after that, because she sent us a few messages through the day, but she just thought, oh, she was busy. And then round about 6 o'clock that evening, Megan and Madeline's mum contacted her as concerned because she hadn't been able to contact Maddi. So she tried again, no response. She rang, it was voicemail. She contacted all Maddi's friends, no news. And then, of course, the last person she contacted, because of the situation between Maddi and Adam, the last person she contacted was Maddi's dad, who said, no, I've not heard from her, but, you know, because of the situation between us, I'm not likely to. This is when alarm bells started going off, because nobody had heard from Maddi. So she contacted Adam again round about 8 o'clock. He didn't reply for another hour, and he said again no contact. And that was basically because as the day was going on and we're coming into sort of late evening, it was becoming more and more worrying that nobody had heard from Madeline. So, as I say, he says he came home with Maddi around 8:15. She was there at the house, she was fine. He went off in her van to run some errands. Of course, there's probably a lot more things that we don't know because the police can't release all the information from things because for reasons that we've talked of before, they've got to keep certain things back if there's a possibility that it might result in a criminal case. And I really do think, again, this mystery will be resolved by the public in some way, or by finding some footage, etc. Now, I want to read out to you the statement that Adam made. Okay, so he said, I did not have anything to do with Maddi's disappearance. I want the mother of my 5-year-old and 2-year-old to be found and brought home safely. So he's not been at any public press conferences alongside the police or family, and he says the reason for that is law enforcement advised me on April the 2nd that they would not recommend that I attend the press conferences or that I assist in the searches due to safety concerns. However, my non-attendance and silence has been inferred by many as a sign of apathy or worse. What else did he say? But apparently the police have said, no, this is not the case. They did not advise him of this. So I just want to tell you about the van. So this is the van that they're looking for, information about. I want to give you the description. Now I can find it, sorry. Let's see. So what do you think? What do you think? I mean, we'd like to believe there's going to be a positive resolution. There may be a positive resolution to this story. Let's hope there is. But it's one of those situations. But anyway, we're not going to say that. So let me just find her van. Sorry. Now, I think, you know, they are searching rivers as well and things like that, but there has been seen the van, so they've searched extensively in Winona and Fillmore County. I mean, you know, one of my subscribers, the lady that sort of told me about this case in the first place, but she's told me what the terrain is like. You know, there's loads of ravines, and you know, it's not an easy place. It's massive and it's not an easy place to search. So why I can't find the details. Oh, so the other thing the father said was, my non-attendance and silence has been inferred by many as a sign of apathy or worse. That could not be further from the truth. I want Maddie home and for her to be able to be with our 2 children. God bless the Kingsbury family and please bring her home safely. Okay, so it's just typical when I'm looking for information about the van, I can't find it. And I've read loads of information about the van, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to give you the incorrect information. I'm going to put a picture up anyway in the video, because when you share this video, this is the van that they're looking for. So this is the van that people should be looking for on any GoPro, any footage that they've got from anything, from any cameras that they might have on their car or doorbell things, etc., or anything from the van. This is the van that we're looking for. So, okay, let's see. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Ah, here we go. So 2014, 2014 dark blue Chrysler Town and Country van. So that's the van. Police are asking people to walk their properties, particularly along Highway 43 and County Road 12, to walk their properties and check their cameras for signs of a dark blue Chrysler Town and Country van or anything unusual. They don't have any other indication she left the home on foot or in another vehicle, and her phone, wallet and jacket she wore that in the morning were all found at home. So the Kingsbury family are offering this $50,000 reward. There is a GoFundMe page because everybody's out searching, not only the police, so the family, Megan, her boyfriend, her brother, everybody's out there, so the money is needed to help search. This is not like, it's funny, isn't it, because this GoFundMe doesn't seem like artificial. You know, when Nicola and Nicola's partner set up, or her friend set up her GoFundMe for £100,000, there was a sort of feeling, well, why? Because we knew where Nicola had gone missing. We knew, you know, we knew she'd been right there. There was no reason to think she was any further than that area, you know, in St Michael's, whereas here we're talking about a vast area. You know, I don't know how, it's only the camera footage that will help the police pinpoint well, if it's to do with Adam, it's only the CCTV footage of either seeing Maddi somewhere or watching where the van went. That's the only way this case is going to be resolved and Maddi is going to be found. It's too big, the whole scenario is too big for just so the police are actively asking people to come along and help. So if you are watching, you're in that area, or you know anyone that's in that area, maybe you're watching this, you've got friends in that area, you know, we need to find out what has happened to Maddi, or where she is. We hope and pray that everything is okay and she'll be returned safe and sound to her family. That is our hope, that is our best case scenario, and so that's why I'm doing this video, to raise awareness, because I'm not a massive YouTube channel, but it just in doing this video, it raises that awareness a little bit more. Every time the awareness is raised a little bit more, you never know where that might lead, like it did with Gabby Petito, although it was a tragic end. To find Gabby, unfortunately, was dead, but imagine if she'd never been found. That would be the worst thing, wouldn't it? The worst thing, to not be able to bring her home back to her family. So if the worst case scenario has happened with Maddi, at least what we can try and do is get her home one way or another. Okay, so thank you for watching. Please remember to live and love carefully, and until the next video, may your God go with you. Thank you.